Alright, so as a follow on from the previous video, in this one we're looking at how to solve quadratics. Now the reason why the majority of these are set to 0 is if I have a quick look at my parabola again. So there's my axes, there's my parabola. I'm wanting to get to the point where I can figure out the value of x at these 2 points here at the roots. And remember, where it crosses the x-axis, y is always equal to 0. So if I had an equation where I have y equals, I need to then be able to solve it when I know y is going to be 0. So let's take a look at this then. So first one, I've got 0 equals x plus 4, x minus 3. Now, the key thing to keep in mind is that I've got two things, one thing, second thing, that are being multiplied together to give me 0. And because they're being multiplied, that means one of the items must be 0. Because think of it this way, 3 times 0 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. So that means if I've got stuff multiplied, something has to equal 0 as a whole. And I'm going to use that. So I'm going to take that x plus 4, and either that has to equal 0, or that x minus 3 has to equal 0 for this whole thing to work. And at that point there, I can then quite happily solve each little expression individually. So the first one, I take away 4 on both sides to give me x equals negative 4. And on the second one, I add 3 to both sides to give me x equals 3. And remember, the whole reason why I have those two answers is, again, if I draw out my parabola, it crosses the x-axis at 2 points there. So don't get thrown off by the fact that we have these two answers going on. So let's take a look at the next one. So again, I've got two things multiplied. While this is not a bracket, that is one thing being times with this bracket. So I can split them up in the same idea. So either that f equals 0, or that 2f plus 5 equals 0. So that first bit, the f equals 0, that's already done. I can't solve that anymore. So I just need to sort out the second little bit of my expression. So I've got 2f equals negative 5, and divide by 2 on both sides to give me f equals negative 5 over 2. Okay, so let's take a look at question 3. Now, in this case, I've got 0 equals 8y squared minus 6y. The problem with this is that I've not got it in brackets, and so I need to factorize it to put it into some brackets. So to start off with, looking at that, I can see I've got a common factor. So I'm only going to have the one bracket, and the common factor is 2y. And the one bracket's going to be 4y minus 3. So either that 2y equals 0, or that 4y minus 3 equals 0. Well, for that first one, if I divide it by 2, doesn't really make a difference. That's still just going to be y equals 0. And on the second one, add 3 to both sides to get 4y equals 3. Then divide by that 4 to give y equals 3 over 4. Alright, so looking at this last one then this one is a little bit different. I don't have that 0 there. I've got 2x squared minus 3x equals 9. Now, I need to make sure everything is on one side of my equal sign before I factorize. I have to have it equal to 0 on one side. So that means I want to get rid of that 9. So I'm going to take away 9 from both sides. So I'm now working with 2x squared minus 3x minus 9. And I'm now ready to factorize that. So there's no common factor. I can't square root everything. So that means it's my trinomial. So I've got to do my sum and product. So my sum is going to be that minus 3. My product, multiplying the front and the back, is going to be negative 18. Things that multiply together to give you 18, you can do 1 times 18 2 times 9 or 3 times 6. And if I did 3 take away 6, that is going to give me that -3 from my sum. So going back to my equation, I'm going to have 2x squared plus 3x minus 6x minus 9, and that equals 0. Split it down the middle, factorize both sides, so I've got x bracket 2x plus 3. Take that minus sign, common factor there is going to be 3. And inside the bracket, 2x plus 3 equals 0. Ooh, a little bit squished there. And so I've now got x minus 3, 2x plus 3 equals 0. So now I've factorized it, I can now solve it. And I'm just going to quickly move all this up a little bit just because I'm running out a bit of space at the bottom there. So let's just move that all up. There we go. All right, so that means either my x minus 3 equals 0 or the 2x plus 3 equals 0. And doing my rearranging as normal, that first one's going to be x equals 0, and the second one, when I rearrange it, is going to be x equals minus 3 over 2. So I hope that makes sense. In the next video, we'll look at some of these quadratic problem solving in a bit of context. And then after that, then we'll go back to our parabolas and looking at how to sketch these. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with the work.